This is the download from Sounds Profitable, your daily source for the essential news of the business of podcasting. I'm Gavin Gaddis. Here's what you need to know for today, Wednesday, July 23rd. For my top story, protecting user privacy in the listener reports. Apple has published a follow-up to their listener reports upgrade to Apple Podcasts. This new post clarifies two privacy measures used to protect identities. The first is noise, which adds or subtracts a small random number to metrics. Second, Apple employs thresholds that leave out values where the metric has a value less than 5. So, if, say, subscribed listeners' total amount, actual or noised, is less than 5, it will be replaced with an empty value in the generated report. Next up, the SEO collapse. Did podcasts replace late night? This is by Steve Goldsten for Rain News. Traditional late-night talk shows are expensive, with Stephen Colbert's now canceled late night reportedly costing $100 million annually to produce with a staff of 200. And, as Download Media writer Chris Peterson notes, former late-night star Conan O'Brien is effectively doing his old job in a way that attracts the same big-name guests for a fraction of the cost in podcasting. Heck, Paul Rudd's Mac and Me joke even came over into podcasting. Goldsten gives an overview of where we're at with podcasting similar to the traditional late-night TV formulas and what's happening now. As he says, the spotlight has shifted to new forms of media that capture younger audiences with clips and on-demand content. Flexible productions like podcasts can surf the algorithmic waves with more agility than, by comparison, the more regimented clips of late-night talk shows that were originally produced for TV. Next up, why Triton Digital executive Sharon Taylor thinks podcasting is losing sight of its audio origins. Taylor argues there's a part of the story being left by the wayside whenever narratives about video's growth are discussed. Just because video podcasting is growing doesn't mean existing audio audiences are leaving the medium in droves. Much in the same way simply unloading audio to video platforms doesn't innately make good video content, the reverse remains true as well. Ignored and unserved audio audiences can't be taken for granted. As Tom Webster hits on in his piece, The Podcast Preservation Paradox, the onus is on the podcasting industry to remember what made the medium appealing in the first place. It's important to preserve and support those audio-specific roots that make up the foundation the wider industry rests on. For our final top story today, how podcast clips can work for you, an interview with Lewis Roberts. Continuing my running interview series with folks from around the world of podcasting, this week we've got an interview with OpusClip Head of Business Development, Lewis Roberts, about the Opus search tool and why podcasters are using clips. Roberts recalls that during his time working on the Pat McAfee show, 5 to 10 minute clips of back catalog content were monetized with a 15-second ad that managed to get CPMs comparable to the CPM the full show was getting for sponsors. You can catch the full 2.5-minute video interview with a transcript on Sounds Profitable, link in the show notes, as usual. As for the rest of the news, Signal Hill Insights President Paul Riesmandel has a new blog looking at the synergy between attribution and brand lift, noting, quote, brand lift is chocolate to attribution's peanut butter, end quote. And yes, I was going to make that joke if Paul hadn't already made it. Edison Research has published the 2025 edition of their podcast consumer report, finding 73% of respondents aged 12 plus have ever listened to a podcast. The official YouTube blog has a roundtable discussion between creator liaison Renee Ritchie, podcast product lead Steve McLendon, and the marketing expert John Ushai. And the blog in question gives 5 key takeaways from that conversation. Suzy founder Matt Britton interviews Amazon Ads Global Director of Brand Marketing Carly Zip with a new episode of The Speed of Culture podcast. NPR has a feature piece covering Michael Vargas Arango, winner of the NPR College Podcast Challenge. And for something fun to end out the afternoon, Switched on Pop has a new episode looking at the common themes connecting a bunch of different podcast intro songs, featuring an interview with the mysterious musician behind several you know of, Breakmaster Cylinder. Be sure to check out the links to every article mentioned right in your podcast listening app or by heading over to the download section of soundsprofitable.com. You can also subscribe to get the newsletter version while you're there. The download is written and produced by myself, Tom Webster, and Brian Barletta. For Sounds Profitable, I'm Gavin Gaddis. Download us again tomorrow.